out exactly how I wanted it. So shout out to my husband. He did such a good job building it.
It's so cute.
Kim, I tortured him along the way. I literally told him what to do, and then he would do it and I'd be like, I hate it. Do it over.
Gotta be honest.
And he was like, Morgan, I'm not doing it over. Let's just keep moving. He was like, I'll change it next year if you decide you hate it. And as it came together, I was like, I do really love it. You did such a good job. So I'm sorry, babe. You did a great job.
I bet everybody must love it. It's so cute. It's so well done. And you're right. I mean, I don't think I can think of, everybody kind of brings a new thing to Buffalo every couple months, I feel like. And I've seen the champagne carts, or not even just champagne, I think just bar carts, and now the flower carts. It's so nice to see people doing things like that. So do you feel like, even though you're not going after that number one dream, I mean, maybe having children is your number one dream, whatever, you know what I mean? Your writing dream. Do you still feel like you're being true to yourself, or do you feel like you're kind of...
I do. I mean, there's always going to be imposter syndrome where you're like, I'm not doing this right. I'm not, an expert. I'm only in year 2 of growing on this scale, and it's definitely presenting challenges. But I'm having fun, and I am being true to me because it's what I want to do right now.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it comes down to, what you want to do right now.
Sure, at my core, I'm a writer. I know that. And I will get back to that someday. But also, I'm a dental hygienist and I like to clean teeth. I'm also a flower farmer who likes to grow flowers.
Yeah.
I also, Kim, I love to sing.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's one of my favorite things to do in life.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be an expert at any of them. I can just be what I want to do right now. And that's something that I have worked on accepting, that, it might not be the linear path that I thought I would do my whole life. It can be a squiggly line, and that's okay.
Yeah, it should be. I think that's the number one thing that I want people to get out of this podcast, and the people I want to bring on the podcast is people that a lot of people aren't really confident in that yet, but we're learning to be confident in that. And every new pivot brings nerves and uncertainty and imposter syndrome. But I was just talking about imposter syndrome and how silly it is, because we're all imposters then. Nobody's an expert when they first start, and a lot of the time you're always learning forever. So it's just a silly thing, but it definitely affects a lot of us. I have imposter syndrome all the time, or just have it with different things, I should say.
Well, and I think at this age, I mean, you're 30, right?
Yeah.
30. I'm 32. I feel like this little generation of ours, we kind of still feel like big kids.
Yeah.
We're not running businesses. No. What are we doing?
Yeah.
We're raising kids.
Yeah.
What?
That's how I feel all the time. I know you're friends with Emily and Dina Tully.
Yeah.
And we're always like, what? What? Wait, what?
I know. If I ever got a promotion, I'd be like, why?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm 12 still, right? Oh my God.
Wait, Dana had her bachelorette, or her what did Dana just have?
Shower.
Her shower. I was writing to her, and I wanted to be like, Dana, you're 16. You think I'm married?
I know. I looked at her. I'm like, I can't. It really hit me that day, and I'm like, wait, somebody, a fixture from my high school career, Dana, is getting married. I'm like, so that really hit me.
Right.
Almost seeing it in somebody else. I mean, I'm married, and I don't know. I just didn't think of it that way.
Right. It doesn't hit you when it's you.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
It's I know.
It did, but it didn't, so, but yeah, I mean, like you said, you have to start messy, and you have to accept that you might not even want to do this tomorrow, but honoring yourself and being like, let me just do this so I don't always wonder, or let me do this to make sure that it's nothing that I'm meant to do, because I've tried different things. I had an Etsy shop once. I worked, oh my God, I could go on and on about all the jobs I've had and all the things that I've tried. And I'm glad that I did, even though I was a little embarrassed, even though I felt like I was failing. It's important to go down all those roads, even if the door shuts. That's almost the point, is to see if it shuts or not, Yeah. And a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not going to do that because it's probably not going to work out, or I'm not good at it. But at the end of the day, like I said, you're living for yourself, and you are going to be on your deathbed one day. If you can even, I mean, life is too short. You never know what's going to happen. I'll put that there. But one day, hopefully in many, many years, you'll be on your deathbed and you'll be like, none of that mattered. None of those people mattered. I don't even remember their names. And I wish that I did this, because what if like my whole life would be different? So I just like to think of that, Kim. And the people at my funeral, I'm like, I want them to remember me as like this person that inspired them or that they loved, and just being that type of person, aside from like career and stuff, just being the person that you really want to be. So,
I think about that often, like, and this is going to sound morbid, but I think about like my obituary someday.
Yeah.
Because I also love writing. So
well,
I'm like,
yeah,
can I write my own obituary?
Yeah, I mean,
honestly probably will.
Yeah. Some people do.
I probably will.
Yeah.
My sister married us. She got ordained, and I like wrote her speech.
Oh,
like, I was like, this is what you're going to say.
A little controlling, but you know.
Yeah, a little controlling. No, I really am. That's so funny. But I think about my obituary and like, what is it going to say? Like, what is the career? Mm-hmm. I say that to my husband all the time.
Yeah.
He's a carpenter through and through. Like,
right.
It's what he is, and that's what he will be his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder that, and that's another like identity crisis. Like, what is it? I look at him all the time, and I think, thankfully, I have the stability of him. I obviously couldn't do any of these businesses without the financial stability that he provides. But yeah, I look at him all the time, and I say, what is my long-term? What am I retiring from? What job am I retiring from?
Right.
And it is, I don't know yet.
And that like just goes back to the thing that's instilled in us so long ago, like that there should be something.
Right. There has to be a job that you work at 22 and you work it until you're 65.
Yeah. I just hate the thought of that. I mean, and again, back to like what you were saying at the beginning, we'll like wrap up on this topic. It's like you were pivoting towards the 9 to 5. I'm pivoting away from the 9 to 5. And I just like to, really drive home that nothing is better than another. So it doesn't mean that like a person that wants a 9 to 5 or a corporate job is like wrong or whatever, like, or they're right and the other person is wrong. Because I do feel like sometimes why do I want this so bad? Why do I want to not have a 9 to 5? One isn't better than the other. It really just is what you want to do and what you want to do that day, like you said. So about the 9 to 5, is that something that like you want to give up your creative, you know what I mean? I feel like you're such a creative person and you want to work for somebody else.
That's a good point. And maybe, Kim, maybe I'll try it and I'll hate it.
Right. Exactly.
I have no clue.
Maybe the door will close.
But I just always picture myself in like a steady income, because, I'm a care. I need a plan. I need to know my budget for the month, and I need to know what paycheck is coming in.
Right.
But yeah, I think moving toward the 9 to 5, and maybe it's because it's something I really haven't done since like restaurant life when I was 19.
Yeah.
I need to try it and see if it does work for me. If not, luckily writing is something like, you can do on a freelance level. And maybe someday I'll be in my little cottage in Maine overlooking the ocean, like writing, like sounds my great. Little freelance writing career. Yeah. But I guess, like you said, you don't know, and you don't know until you try. So I hope to be able to meld the creative process in my brain with a steady paycheck, like a 9 to 5, or preferably like a 6 to 2 would be ideal as an early riser. But I guess you just don't know until you try it. But at the core, I think our generation just wants to be happy, and so like we just want to find what makes us happy. And then, like you said, it's different for every individual. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, that sounds great. Do you have anything else that you want to kind of talk about or share with people?
Yeah. So to sum up, I would say, first of all, ask for help, whether it's in motherhood or a big transition in your life. Like, I know my parents would have moved a mountain to get me to college if I asked for their help, and I was just too proud to ask. Same thing when I had my kids. I was just too proud to ask. I wanted to do it all by myself, and that doesn't help your mental state, and it doesn't help you reach the full potential that you could have if you had just asked for help. So ask for help. And then also, there is no timeline in life. That has taken me a long time to accept, that at 32, I am not where I thought I would be, but that's okay.
That's okay. I don't have to be where everybody else is or what I perceive that everybody else is, right? Because not everybody else is there. It just seems that way when you're feeling down on where you are in life. So there is no timeline for starting a family, starting a career, being in any place in life. So
right now I'm like trying to actively tell myself, don't compare yourself to Morgan.
Oh
she has 3 kids, but like my baby is hard too. I'm like, you know what I mean?
It's
but it's
all
so
relative.
Easy to compare and just be like, well, if this person can do this, or, you know, or why do I need to ask for help? Like people are going to think that I'm a baby or like that I can't handle stress or whatever. But you know what? At the end of the day, again, it's your life and you need to do what's right for you, especially when it comes to mental health. I just talked to somebody yesterday about that, how serious it is. Like, and like you said, it is uncomfortable to talk about, but it really can go downhill fast. And especially with postpartum, moms are really just kind of put to the side, like immediately after that baby is born, which is rightfully so in some aspects, but the mom really needs support and has really no control over her hormones. So it's very difficult to just be on your own with that. But that's such a good message to really ask for help, something to think of in really every aspect of your life. If you want to, even like you said before, reach out to somebody to help you on this new trajectory or this new career, or somebody to support you. If you don't have anybody in your life, there's always people out there. And that's one of the things I want to do at this podcast, is be everybody's number one fan and help everybody get to where they want to be and feel confident in that. So thank you so much. What can we plug for you?
Ooh, plug. You can come out and pick flowers with us July through October at the Frase Farm, Frase.
On Instagram.
We have a Facebook for the people that still use Facebook. Yeah, I think that's cool. And then the flower cart, you know, is available for showers and weddings and birthdays and fun events.
Yeah, you just rent it out.
Yeah, it's like a full service. So we bring the flowers, delivery setup. We hang while you build your little arrangements. Yeah,
nice.
And then it's like a little entertainment piece.
What kind of flowers do you got coming up?
Depends on like the season. But summer is around the corner. We'll have zinnias and snapdragons and sunflowers and straw flowers and celosia and
awesome
things.
Yeah,
lots of dahlias, and
I don't know what any of those are, but I'm sure they're all very pretty. I need to go, but thank you so much for coming on. I know that it was not something that you were like super confident in doing. You were a little nervous, but everybody tells me that, and you did great. And I'm thankful that you were able to share with everybody. So everybody definitely follow her. If you're from this area, Buffalo, Western New York area, definitely check out the farm. Go rent out her cart. It's all so cute. If you want to see, go on the Instagram. And if you don't live around here, follow her. Okay. But thank you so much for listening. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know if you have any questions for Morgan. I'll send them along and get you guys some answers. And I just know that you were inspired by her today. So I'm so thankful you came on, Morgan. Thank you again.
Thanks, Kim.